Michael here in front of the Moscow Business District, and today we'll be talking about what does a communication coach actually teach. So I teach people how to communicate more effectively, and effective communication is not just knowing what you're communicating verbally, but also being aware of what things you're communicating unconsciously through your behaviors and actions. And since actions speak much louder than words, this is very important. A good portion of my clients, like myself, come from technical backgrounds. However, upon operating in the real world, they have come to the discovery that they never learned neither implicitly nor explicitly the critical social skills necessary to be successful in personal, business, or romantic relationships. To add insult to injury, many of them also primarily spend their time in environments which are not conducive for ever learning how they can improve their social skills, thus creating a vicious circle where their social skills only further atrophy, leading to more negative interactions, reinforcing more negative beliefs, and promoting isolationism. But fortunately, social skills, like any other type of skills, can be improved through proper training. Now, some people don't believe this because it relates to one's personality, and they think someone's personality is inalterable. But in truth, social skills, like any other skills, can be improved through proper training and theory. I personally focus much more on helping my clients identify and correct poor behaviors rather than just giving them a list of things that they should be doing. Sometimes it's not so much the things that you do, but the things that you specifically do not do that leads to success. There's a handful of behaviors that if people simply stop doing them, they're going to see dramatic positive increase in results. The statue of David was created by removing pieces of marble, not adding them. The reason that this teaching strategy is so effective is because it lessens the chances of a person unintentionally betraying the core principles of honesty and authenticity. For example, if I was to tell a person to simply do this, their actions will likely come off as not being calibrated or congruent for a particular situation. And most importantly, the very fact that a person is specifically acting with the intention of soliciting a response from another person can make them come off as unauthentic, which is one of the worst things that can occur. So it's kind of a catch-22. By actively trying to improve your social skills, you actually can come off looking worse. This is because people might find you unauthentic, and people hate posers. However, it's much harder for a person to be judged negatively for something that they didn't do. An extreme analogy would be telling a person who has never juggled before to go juggle some knives in front of other people to try to impress them. Now, the probability of success is very low, and the probability of a disaster occurring is super high. Now, continuing with this extreme analogy, imagine the person also had this unattractive habit of licking their hand before shaking the hand of another person. Simply telling the person to cease this unattractive trait of licking their hand is going to be very simple to do and have a much higher success rate than trying to teach them how to juggle knives. Now, while I've never obviously met a person who has had this behavior, I have met plenty of people who have unattractive behavior such as trying to qualify themselves, barter for attention, seek the approval from others. And these type of traits likewise have a negative effect on the other party. I'm a big fan of the Puerto principle, which is also known as the 80-20 rule. Knowing what the few core principles are to focus on that will deliver the majority of results is important. By striking at the root of a problem, you can simultaneously correct many of the incidental issues that result from it. Let's say a person is uncomfortable talking in front of large groups of people. Let's say a bad body posture that shows them nervous and closed off. Now, I think it's much more effective to teach the person to address the underlying beliefs that are causing the person to be uncomfortable and resulting in the bad posture, rather than just giving them a list of 50 things they can focus on to improve their posture. Making the person self-conscious about 50 different things is just going to overload them and not really address the core problem underneath. It's important to fix the underlying problem and not just apply external band-aid solutions. So it is important not only to address the poor communication behaviors, but also address the inaccurate beliefs and assumptions from which these behaviors are unconsciously derived. If you're interested in getting some personal coaching from me, consider becoming a Patreon subscriber. Patreon subscribers will get access to me in the private group, as well as access to the Enhanced EQ online video course that I created, a link to which can be found in the description below. Also remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, ciao.